Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Mr. Chairman, I apologize to our panelists. I had another committee meeting and did not hear your testimony, and I deeply apologize. Dr. Anderson, you're a native of Augusta. Worked for the University System of Georgia, as I understand. Vice Chancellor, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, sir.
And appreciate your comments on developmental programs and students. In fact, the University of Georgia, when they accepted my son, they didn't accept my daughter, but they did accept my son, but he got in on developmental studies, which was an entry-level program where he had to accomplish passing certain courses at the University of Georgia before he could earn credits at the University of Georgia. They changed him from a mediocre student performance-wise to a student that graduated with honors at the University of Georgia. They taught him how to study. It also gave him a goal at the beginning of his college career to shoot for an achievement and attainment, which helped him be responsible in how he handled it, and also responsible in how he handled the money that he had to go to college, some of which was mine, some of which was borrowed. So I appreciate your comment on the programs that you have to develop the students. Interestingly enough, that program was developed for athletes who were recruited to come who weren't passing the SAT scores with as high scores as they need to, and they built them back up to get it so they could play football. Now they do it for all students regardless of their athletic talents, and it's had a measurable help in terms of doing that. So I appreciate your mentioning that. I just wanted to say two things. This morning I watched CNN and heard the testimony of two people in Cincinnati who took their bonus their company gave them because of the tax law and are paying tuition for their kids going to college. So there was a reference about what happened, what we did with our money from the tax cuts. I wanted to reference that some people, like the two I saw from Cincinnati this morning on TV, took the money their company gave them based on the tax cuts and are sending their two kids to college that they couldn't have done had they not done it. That was just their testimony. So economic policy does make a difference, and every time we can put money in the pockets of parents through better management of the government, better management of the tax system, the more money is going to be available for kids to become educated. Lastly, on the statement about African American students, which I appreciate so much Ms. Warren bringing up, the University of Georgia State University in Atlanta has done a remarkable job in meeting the needs of the African American community, number one. Two, of providing access to financing that was affordable and repayable at the right time in their career. So good that now the Georgia State University graduates the highest number of baccalaureate degrees for African Americans of any university in the United States. And that's because they focused on the affordability issue and because they did a little bit of reverse of the performance base. They tracked the students from the day they went to the university. And they looked for certain benchmarks that would be indicators they might be falling behind economically or sliding behind on their payment. And they brought in what they call Panther grants, which were mini microloans to get them through a difficult time so they stayed on course and didn't end up dropping out of school at the end because they didn't see they could afford and pay for it. So I think there are innovative ideas going on being applied in the universities around the country today that make a huge difference. But it is our responsibility to see to it that we do everything we can to move everybody towards the best education they can afford and achieve. A better educated America is a more productive America, and it's a safer America for our country, and I'm glad to be a part of this hearing and appreciate the time, Mr. Chairman.